All right, guys. This is your girl T here with Talks with T podcast, episode 1. I have a special guest today. We're going to get into that a little later. However, I just want to take a moment and talk a little bit about why I am here and why we're doing this. So basically, Talks with T podcast is about bringing on individuals that I know in the community that are doing great, wonderful things. I'm big on friendships. I love Black people in general, but of course all people are amazing, but I have some pretty dope Black friends, and I just want to have a space where we're talking about businesses and things of that nature, and y'all just get to be a part of it. So today we have a wonderful person that I look up to, that I admire in this mental health field. I am in the mental health field. I'm a therapist, and I have gleaned from her in a lot of situations, but we're going to get into that. So with that being said, our special guest is Miss Kimberly. Can you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. I'm Kimberly Jackson, and I am the owner and executive director of United Community Solutions.
Yes. Okay, tell a little bit about what that is, just in case nobody knows.
So it's a behavioral health agency where we provide many community-based services, partial hospitalization, mental health, IOP. Now we just opened assertive community treatment, which is known as ACT, outpatient services. So it's a variety of services we provide, all centered around mental health.
Yes. Yeah. It's amazing. She does her thing. I like I said, I look up to her a lot. I don't know how. I was just telling her before we started filming, y'all, I don't know how she keeps it all together. Like, let's talk about that.
Okay.
How do you balance all your hats? Because you got your owner, wife, mother, then yourself, because you are a vibe. I'm just gonna say that. She be traveling. She be all over the place, and then she kills with the fashion. So how do you do it all? Please tell us.
So I did realize that I had to find balance in everything that I do. So prioritizing everything, you know what I'm saying? And then what I noticed was I had to take care of myself first before I took care of anything, before I was anything to anyone, anything, any cause, anything I wanted to do business wise, whatever role or head I was in, I needed to take care of myself first. So, so self-care, I play tennis, you know, so that's my escape sometimes and things like that. I do travel, but I did realize I needed things that was day to day, you know, like taking care of myself, whether, you know, it's like making sure I eat right. Right. I need to get back to working out. I haven't been working out, but I do consistently play tennis.
So that doesn't serve as a workout?
Yeah, it does. Okay. It does. But, you know, just getting back in the gym, I used to, you know, go to the gym a lot and things like that. Okay. So, yeah, just loving myself first, you know, and then you can find balance in everything else and pouring into these other cups because I done filled myself up. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. So, I have an 18-year-old. I'm just going to say that to everybody. He turned 18 today.
Oh, nice.
I'm not going to say everything, but anyway, because I'll get emotional. But I got him when he was 14. Wow. He had a lot of mental health things. And now I'm in this place because I am an owner as well of Black Couch Therapy. We'll talk about that later.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. You are kudos to that because she pushed me because I didn't want to do it, but here we are. And I just have an 18-year-old, right?
Okay.
And I'm married, of course. Shout out to the hubby. But I'm in this place where I'm starting to feel guilty when it comes to me being on the computer, me doing this, doing that. Have you felt that? And if you felt that, how have you dealt with it?
So that is a deep thing because I'm learning that as Black women, we have to take on so much. Yeah. So my guilt kind of turned into anger at one point because it's like, Dad, why do we have to carry so much? Right. And then it's like, I know we built for it, right? But then as a woman, I'm like, I don't have room to be weak. Right. You know, right. So guilt for me turned into a little bit of anger, and I've been trying to like deal with that and channel that, and that's where, therapy comes in place. Right. So I think my guilt kind of turned into anger. And so I had to like really catch myself with that. Because it's overwhelming. Yeah. And then it's like, we don't get a pass. Nope. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that I think I currently still deal with and trying to like work through. But it's a thing. And I don't, it's a thing. But once again, like where I find peace and comfort is when I'm pouring into myself, then I have the energy to be like, okay, let me focus on my kid. Let me, do this and that. And what I had to realize recently too was our children, we'll have a picture for them, like how we feel like, and we put the frame around it. Mm-hmm. And that's not sometimes how God wants things to go. So, their stories are being written too. Mm-hmm. So I had to realize that too, like their stories being written and they belong to God. And I just hope that, I'm being the vessel that's needed to deposit in their lives. And so I'm confident. I get confident in ways because I'm like, I know I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, but I can show more time here or there. But my guilt was turning into anger.
That's heavy.
Yeah,
I'm sitting here reflecting on that because I'm like, ooh, am I angry? Mm-hmm. I know for me, one thing I've had to do is even if it is me taking a 15-minute break with my son, I have to be all in. Like, put my phones down, like whatever it is, if it's 5 minutes, 7 minutes, if it's an hour, like being very intentional, and I have to shut my brain off to everything else. For instance, yesterday was his birthday. I mean, today's his birthday, but we celebrated yesterday because I had a lot of stuff to do today. So I'm like, but I had a lot of work to do. Like, so I'm like, okay, what are you going to do? We're going to go to the movies. We're going to eat, whatever. So, of course, it's Sunday. So I'm thinking about my week. Like, what emails I need to send, what I need to send to my staff, da-da-da-da. But I'm like, I have to so I kept my phones in my purse. And I'm like, for these 2 hours, I'm going to just focus on you and whatever you want. And then, when I get back to the house, all right, I got to do what I got to do. But I still be feeling guilty about that. But I think he's starting to see the importance of, scheduling and boundaries. Because I'm like, when we got home last night, he laid on me and I was like, listen, bro, you got to get up because I got to do this work. Was I not with you for the last 3 hours? So I'm like, I love you, but, I got to do my work or we ain't going to have no money.
Right. Hey, that's important.
Yes, but then I also realized, and you probably, because, I know you've seen this, I didn't realize the impact of us doing our everyday life and how it affects them in a good way.
Yeah. They're learning. They paying attention. They taking notes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's teaching them work ethic and that go-getter, mentality. Mm-hmm. So And
I love that. I'm like, okay, good. Okay, of course that's bad, but that's also good. Like, you're seeing him. One day I came home and he was playing worship music because I play worship music in the morning to get my mind right.
Right.
And I was like, okay, something's working. So like,
you never know. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you'll think that these things are harming them or, your busyness and things like that. But it's forcing their brain to pick up on some habits, not being lazy.
Right. So shout out to us, Black moms, that's honing it down.
Yes.
But let's get to the business side too.
Okay.
What made you say, I got to open up my business?
So at one point, I was working for a company where I enjoy being a consultant. Okay. My entire career, I was like helping other people open up their agencies, and I didn't think much of it. I wasn't even getting paid a lot of money. Sometimes I did it for free.
That's another thing that we do.
Right. I did a lot of that for free, but I was just like, I'm okay. I'm being, I got my normal salary or, whatever. So I wasn't thinking, but it was one company where I was making a lot of money from, and overnight, all of our livelihood switched up. Like, they mismanaged money. All of a sudden it was, we had to let go of a lot of people, and then they didn't pay people, so I was like, I cannot allow someone to have that much control over my livelihood anymore. You know what I'm saying? So that's what made me start my own. And then I was just being stretched too thin, having to be this to one provider and that to another provider. And, by the time and keeping up with changes and things like that, I decided to open up my own. So that was the main reason. Yeah. Or else I would have just, still contracting myself out and things like that. Like I was okay with it for years, but that's what happened. I put my eggs in one basket and ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that last statement, because that's one thing. My mama talks about it all the time. She be like, girl, you got too many jobs. But in my head, I'm like, I never want to be in a position where we're not good.
Yeah.
And I get that from my parents, I believe. My parents always taught me to have a backup plan.
Yep.
But I don't have just one. I got like 4 or 5 backup plans. I don't know if that's healthy or not, but I got 4 or 5. Like, because I'm like, I gotta, like you said, don't have your eggs all in one basket. And I feel as if it's refreshing, because it's like, okay, I'm not getting bored doing the same thing every week. I mean, most of the stuff, all of it is kind of the same thing, but it's different things that, make your life a little exciting. But I feel like anybody in this current time, like, you gotta have different streams of income.
Yeah, and I agree with the different streams of income, but say like, why not be all these different things for what you have, your own business? So you can open up multiple streams of income, multiple streams of whatever businesses or whatever. It's because it's attached to you. That's true. Whatever dedication or wherever you stretched, it's because it's your legacy, right? Versus like fulfilling somebody else's. That's true. So that's the difference. Like whatever you're doing and it's your business, it's going to benefit you. You're right. So if you're stretched then for your business, at the end, it's going to pay out. It's going to come back to you. Yeah, you're right. You know what I'm saying? Versus the way I was going, I'm stretched thin for other people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather be stretched for mine or open up more doors and streams, for myself.
Now, while you were building, opening your business, were you, because, okay, me currently, of course I have my business, but because I'm new, I still have to work for other. Yeah. You did that too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Whew, we talk about that?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes that's the smart way to go. Like, people think just because you open up your business, I have to be the CEO, I have to be the leader, and I can't work other places. No, like, you have to still, it's okay to humble yourself, because this one job over here may teach you how to run your business in other ways. So you may take processes from one place and implement it in yours. So this initial phase is amazing, like to glean from other businesses, to take from other operations, and you putting that in yours. So no, that's smart. In the beginning, you work other places and you may not be getting paid a lot of money these other places, but the knowledge is priceless to me. Yes, exactly. And I spent years doing that. You know what I'm saying? And then even opening up my business, I was still working for a major payer where I got to learn how to, do things ethically and, just run my stuff in a way to where I'm getting outcomes that's needed and things like that, because I worked it. I understand what they want. So sometimes we have to step outside ourselves and go work for the people that we trying to be like.
Exactly. Yeah. I try to explain that, because people are like, why you they automatically think, oh, you got your business.
No,
so
you're being
good.
A student.
Exactly. I'm learning, and I'm also not trying to be stupid. Yep. Okay. I'm brand spanking new. I need, I'm learning, like you said. So what if I make a mistake? Like, nah, let me work here. Let me learn here. Let me do this. It's important.
But make sure, we make sure that everywhere we work, it's intentionally to deposit into what we got going on. The main goal. Yeah, or it's in alignment with where you want your business to go. Yes. And to grow. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So everything that you're doing, even if it's multiple streams of income, it's in alignment with where you're trying to go. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Like, you're not just taking any type of job or position.
That's very true. Yeah. Yes. I have a friend that's in the business. Her name is Shakita Bailey. Shout out to you, Bailey. And she, no, it wasn't Keita. Sorry, Bailey. Still love you. My line sister. She told me one day, and I was on the phone with her. I was going through it, emotional, and she was like, Tess, you got to remember your reason why. And that thing stuck with me, because I'm like, you are absolutely correct. Like, you can get overwhelmed and things, but like, I gotta remember why I'm doing this. I'm doing this so that I can be successful. Like, I know that I don't have all the answers, right? But I know I can glean from other people. But like you said, being intentional with the jobs you take. Of course, I'm not taking no job that's not going to benefit my business at the end of the day. Right. I'm not wasting time. Right. So that's very important. I'm glad you spoke about that. But you have to remember your reason why. in anything that you do, marriage, anything. That's one thing that I keep trying to tell myself. You know, when you have those moments of frustration and you want to give up, have you ever wanted to give up?
Oh yeah. In the beginning of our start, like we launched in 2019 October. So March 2020 we was hit with the pandemic. So we just now getting out here marketing, and we were shut down. And so then like I had staff that was not in alignment with my vision, and it kind of discouraged me too. Like, I don't need this, or it's just like, wow, this is such a headache. It discouraged me so much to where I was like, I just need to shut all this down, because I didn't see where I was going. I didn't see that it would get better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so really, I think the pandemic kind of saved us, because I was able to regroup, restructure, and come back stronger. You know what I'm saying? So it really pushed growth, and it just put our vision like so much ahead. So but I did have moments of wanting to give up. And what I would say about that is people, and I heard this recently, like we have to, when bad stuff happens or we meet bad people, all we have to do is change our perspective with that. We just have to understand that they just came to show us what we don't need.
Yes.
They came to show us what we don't deserve.
Yes.
They came to show us what we don't need. Yes. Like as far as like work, friend, whatever capacity. Sometimes we need to see what we don't deserve.
Yes.
And that's what that taught me. Like, I didn't deserve that. I know I was a good leader. I didn't deserve, staff that was resistant against my vision. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that taught me, like, oh, you were the example of the type of model of staff, whatever, that I don't need. So now I have that compass where when I see certain behaviors, I already had an example of it, and I know that this doesn't work for me.
So I teach my clients. I teach my clients that a lot. It's about perspective.
Yep.
Okay, you feel your feelings, but okay, you got to work through them. So okay, how do we change that? Like, okay, this happened to me. I'm hurt. I can identify that I'm hurt, but what can I learn from the situation?
It teaches you. It's your lesson.
Exactly. Life is all about experiences. About some of my previous employment and some of the issues that I've had, but I can honestly say in this season, like, I have no bitterness. I have nothing. If I see you, hey, how you doing? Like, I hope everything is well. Because I had to change my perspective. I had to use what I told my clients. Like, if I never would have been here or there, I wouldn't have learned certain things.
Yes.
And I'm not going to bring that to my business.
Right.
And then I'm also, right now, I'm mentoring one person in particular that is attached to me. And some of her questions and the things she go through, if I never would have went through things at other places, I wouldn't be able to tell her, like, hey, this is how you do this, and you need to look out for this. You need to look out for that. So that's what I take it as. I had to go through that so I can help somebody else. I don't want you to waste time and emotions like I did with this particular thing. This is how you look at it. Like,
it's like you save someone else from going through all of that. Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, and that's what I think now. I'm only 30, but in my mind, I'm a little older. I just got back from the Sarah Jakes conference, right?
Oh,
Shout
yeah,
out
man,
to Sarah
I missed
Jakes.
it. Yeah.
Yes, it was amazing.
I know it was. I know. I am. I said I couldn't go anywhere else. I had been so many places, but I'm definitely not missing it.
That's how I felt, sis.
Yeah.
But I was like, listen.
I know. I got to swing. Got to swing that.
Got to swing it.
Yep.
I got to swing it, and I'm so glad I went.
Yeah.
But the reason why I brought it up, what I really liked about the conference is that her and her team were very intentional about talking about legacy and business.
Okay.
Of course, we talked about mental health, and of course, we talked about God. But they really talked about legacy and prayers and everything. And it was like, listen, hey, sis, you got to get yourself together, because what are you producing?
Yeah.
Like,
what
are you leaving? And even though I'm at 30, I'm like, listen, I know I'm not going to be in this game for the rest of my life. That's not my plan. Lord, that's not my plan, to be in the game forever until my dying day, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm 30, but still, like, any place where I can, plant a seed, like, because we often talk about the world and how crazy it is, but then I was like, the conference made me realize, okay, we got all these bad things going on, but when are we going to sit and focus on what we can do? And the positive? Like, of course the bad things happen, but like, okay, but what am I teaching the next person so that the world could be a better place? If that makes any sense. So I'm like big on legacy. Like, let me focus. Let me see who I can pour into at any point. And that also comes with paying attention to everyday life. Because I feel like we can get so stuck in our routines that we miss moments.
Yeah.
Like, I could be at the gym, minding my business, at a restaurant, looking at my phone the whole time. I can meet somebody and, you know what I'm saying, stuff and things of that nature. But anyway, I say all to say the conference was big on legacy and and creating business within ourselves to help our family grow so that, you know, they'll be better after we leave.
Yeah.
But the big part of that is that you have to help yourself.
Yeah.
So if I'm not okay, ain't nobody gonna be okay.
No.
And we got too many people attached to us.
Right.
So it's like, you really have to be intentional about pouring into yourself and saying, hey, okay, I'm not okay. Let me go fix this. Let me deal with this so that I can, you know, teach the world to be better. Mm-hmm. So shout out to the conference. The conference was amazing.
Yes.
And you better be going next year.
Yeah, I am. Like,
girl, they prayed over businesses. I was in there praying for all my friends. I was like, anybody got a business? I'm like, yes, we're going to flourish.
Yes, I love her. So
yeah, she's amazing. Like, I just, that conference, man, from beginning to end was amazing. But they did not play by the mental health part.
Yeah, I think we're in a crisis. And I think the crisis is we're being forced to address our mental health issues like no other. It's no escaping it. It's no escaping it. And back then, I would say the shift was after 2020.
Yeah.
That people have no choice but to address it now. Mm-hmm. Something shifted in 2020.
I didn't realize.
I feel like.
I didn't realize. I knew the kids were being impacted. Mm-hmm. But you know what I realized recently? It's important to, like, our children, like, what stage they were in when COVID happened. Everybody was at a different stage. So let me use this for example. Well, for my point, kids that were like in elementary, right? You got your elementary kid and then you got your high school kid, right? Maybe when the pandemic started, they were in middle school and then they were in high school. It affected kids in different places. Because, like, the little kids, I feel like it was hard, but they were adaptable more, if that makes sense. But, like, the high school kids, maybe when the pandemic started, they was in the 8th grade and they went into high school. And now, by the time things started to get normal, they was about to graduate.
Yeah. And
now I'm seeing it with my clients. Like, they don't know how to function.
Yeah.
At all. Because now they're getting thrown into the world.
Yeah. For
college and what I'm about to do, but then you got this little kid and they, you know, it's like this is normal to them because this is how they're growing up,
right?
So it was just like, wow, it depended on what stage you were in. Like, my older kids don't know how to have conversations with people, at all.
Yeah,
like, they literally freak out. I be looking at them, they be sweating, you know, anxiety, and I'm like, wow, this is serious, like. Yeah. Because you spent the last 4 years, like...
It's like the aftermath.
Yeah. And I didn't realize...
We're not realizing that there is it's the aftermath of... Yeah. That was traumatic. That was trauma within itself. If you went through COVID, that was trauma.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So we all had some issues. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We all went through something. Mm-hmm. If you went through COVID.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. Like, I just cannot believe it happened.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be in the history books, but yeah, y'all go to therapy, take y'all kids to therapy because, but not just kids, adults went through it too. Mm-hmm. We went through it too. But we don't have to get onto that. But yeah, but make sure y'all go to therapy, y'all. Shout out to therapy. So let me ask you some more questions before we wrap up here.
Okay.
For the any type of woman, man that are looking into creating a business, what advice would you give?
To make sure, like, I would say at least have some experience with what you're trying to do. Coming into so say, like, if, let's just say, what's another career? I don't know, somebody in media.
Okay.
And I never worked media, but I see what's happening is people are seeing, like, oh, that person getting it. And they shine and they got all the likes and all this. And
like a content creator.
Yeah, or, you know, I can't just jump into that world and think that I'm just going to automatically open up that business and thrive. Mm-hmm. Like, work some part of that industry or get familiarized with it. I would say have some type of experience, because that will get you so far.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why, like, with my agency, I've done a lot within the last 3 years because I worked for 14 years doing everything. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So it may look easy to someone else. That's because I had years of experience working it. You see what I'm saying? So it was easy when I needed to launch my programs or write a policy and procedure. I did it for 14 years. Not saying you have to take that long, but at least like get some type of exposure to what you're trying to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Before you
put yourself out there.
Yeah, get some type of exposure.
I think a big thing is a mentor.
Yeah, that's key too. Yeah.
Because a lot of people, I'm not saying this is everybody, this is not an absolute statement, but a lot of people feel like, oh, I don't need no help. I got this.
Yeah.
And that can mess you up too.
Or it's the fact that it's kind of like that crab in a barrel mentality. Like some people do want to come to you and get the help, and maybe some people don't want to help you. Because like if you coming up in my industry, I'm just saying like what I've experienced. I haven't worked like that. Like I'm usually pulling up other people. Like, you need something from me? Here you go. But usually in our culture, it's hard, you know, to find somebody that's willing to mentor you and get you to where they are, because it's like you may surpass me, or something like that. So that is important, and I hope that it still exists. I think it's becoming, I don't know, like
non-existent.
Yeah,
that's why people like us are important.
Yeah,
because a lot of people like even like I don't.
It's
know
all good if you can find it. If you can find it, and then not only that, like so then like if you coming after the CEO of the company, maybe that person is too busy to mentor you at the level where you are. So you got to find the mentorship where it makes sense at the level you at. You see what I'm saying? So if you don't even have a business license or anything, don't expect like a business person who's the CEO running, who has multiple staff, to take the time to mentor you. Maybe you need that assistant, or you know what I'm saying? You need some type of assistant or some type of lower level person that can like guide you through that process. And then when you get to the level where you have staff and all that, then you can have a conversation with the CEO, you know, to mentor you and things like that.
You are absolutely correct.
So I think that's the disconnect too. We not finding the mentorship at the levels that we are in the stages that we are in business where we're trying to go.
I think it's an awkward thing for people to like, oh, I wanna ask this person, but what if they reject me? What if they look at me like, you know, and that can go back to you being insecure in yourself and things of that nature. But also, it is hard out here to find somebody that is genuine and like really like going to tell you the truth. Yeah. But that's why another reason why I'm gonna shout out to Kim again. She's amazing. As we wrap up, I really want to say, like, I really do appreciate you. We don't talk all the time. Yeah. But you were very vital in my development. I'm nowhere near where I should be. But the fact that you was able to push me and be like, no, girl, like you reminded me who I was, even though you didn't know everything about me. You like, no, I see this in you. Right. Go for it. Like, and like you were busy. You're very busy. But she would send me text messages like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you do that. And you'll check in every once in a while. But that, like just that. And because you did it to me, I'm going to do it to somebody else. Right. Exactly. And that's how it works. Forward. Yeah. Yeah. So, you're just amazing.
And then like you may end up learning some things that you can come and share with me. So just because like I may have helped you in one area, that doesn't mean that you may outgrow me in certain places too. Where it's like, hey Kim, I learned about this or whatever. So that's the thing too. Like people misunderstand. You know what I'm saying? Like you always have something to offer. Take. Yeah. So give and take. Yeah.
That's definitely how it should be. But yeah, I am looking forward to where our professional and personal relationship will grow. Absolutely. Because I always, when I think about, you know, moving forward, you're always a part of the plan, even if you just in my ear. But I appreciate you for that. But in this moment, I don't know if you want to shout out your social media. If you do,
well, Instagram is Kimberly Jackson _I. Okay. So that's how you can find me.
Okay. She's amazing, y'all. Make sure y'all follow her.
Yes.
And your TikTok. I love your TikTok.
Thank you. I don't know what my TikTok handle is, but
I can't remember on the top of my head. But they be good. They be real, real good. And I want to go to Fashion Week. You be going I want to go to one. I've never experienced that.
I need to go too, yeah. I haven't been this year, but yeah, I love fashion.
All right. Well, y'all, that's all for this episode. Yes. Shout out to the lovely lady again. And we'll get back with y'all. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye.